softball fans, we're here with This Week on the Diamonds, although it's a little chilly outside, so we didn't go to the Diamonds.
We did not.
We did not. In fact, I almost wore a stocking cap. I'm Carol McKee with Softball 605, and here with me is Sandy Delker-Holbert of the Sioux Falls Diamonds, owner.
Correct.
Softball parent, mom, coach extraordinaire. And here's also with us is Travis Lape, who is the president of the Sioux Empire Fast Pitch Softball Association.
Yes.
Did I get that right?
You did. Spot on. Yes, SEPSA.
And also a former college coach and still coaching.
Yes.
So we're here to talk softball with you today, folks, and it's going to be a lot of fun. We got a lot of stuff to talk about.
It was a busy weekend.
It was a busy weekend. Did you have fun? You were in Nebraska.
I was in Lincoln, Nebraska. Weather was beautiful on Saturday. Sunday, not so much, but it was a great weekend of ball down there.
You had a few Diamonds teams there, right?
We had one Diamonds team down there. We were the only team from South+Dakota at that particular tournament. Yep, it was an ASA. It's kind of a neat deal. It was a fundraiser for a scholarship fund that ASA puts on for one student looking to go to college. So kind of a neat deal. They do it for the umpires, and the umpires put it on. So it's kind of a neat deal.
That is neat. Yeah. Did you get any softball in this weekend, Travis, or did you talk on other stuff?
I got to catch up on some other things. I got to watch a little softball on TV.
Okay.
This is probably my favorite time of the year because conference tournaments for the Division I are wrapping up, and they just had their selection show last night. So now this weekend will be regionals for Division I, which will be on ESPN, ESPN2, ESPNU. So a busy weekend of softball coming up.
Plenty of softball on the telly.
Absolutely.
Well, I got to watch some good softball out at Brandon Valley at the early bird tournaments.
Yeah.
That they had out there, and got an opportunity to visit with a lot of players and coaches and umpire-in-chief Chester DeYoung.
Yeah.
Visited with Sarah Anders, who is the tournament director, and just was a great weekend.
Absolutely.
We'll talk about that a little bit more when we get into the youth side of the report, but what you can expect from Softball 605, folks, and here on This Week on the Diamond is we're going to do a weekly recap of what's happened across the past week in softball in both youth and adult, fast pitch and slow pitch, college, high school. We're going to cover the whole gamut. And since this is the first show, our recap has to go a lot more than just last week.
Right, absolutely.
And, it's exciting because we had a pretty exciting tournament here over the weekend, and we did the weekend before on the college side.
Absolutely.
So let's start off with the college side, Travis.
Yeah, so it was exciting. 2 weeks ago now, we wrapped up the Northern Sun Intercollegiate Conference Tournament right here in Sioux Falls, and we had representation from our D2 teams in South Dakota. Northern State came in as a 4 seed, which for them was a huge upgrade. They were picked 13th in the league and ended up, coming into the tournament 4. The University of Sioux Falls, they came in as the 9th seed, ended up finishing 4th in the tournament. Mm-hmm. And then Augustana College, they were picked number 1, but ended up getting swept by Winona. Mm-hmm. That sent them to the losers bracket, and then they beat them in the 1-game championship. And so Augustana really was looking for some redemption moving into regionals, and that's kind of Augie went into hoping to get a selection show of hosting, and they ended up doing. And
pretty exciting.
It was.
It's hard to believe that's already been 2 weeks since the NSIC.
It's crazy, And so then last weekend we had the Central Region Tournament number 1 here. The number 2 side was at the University of Central Missouri, and so the winner of the number 2 tournament comes up to the number 1 tournament. And so with Augie winning, Augie will host a super regional this upcoming weekend, Friday and Saturday, against Central Missouri. Central Missouri comes into this tournament really a dark horse because their program's been building for several years. This was their first ever tournament championship in their conference in the MIAA, which was a huge accomplishment for them. And now Augustana will get to take them on with the winner going on to Oklahoma City to play in the Division II national tournament. Oh,
that'll be fun. Well, I'm happy for Central Missouri. That's really nice that they got this far. They're going to be able to come to Sioux Falls and get beat by Augie.
Absolutely.
And we'll enjoy watching them.
Yeah, and what was good with this weekend for Augie was something that we didn't see in the NSIC tournament was their poise in defense. The only runs they gave up were over the fence. And so when you're only giving up that amount of runs to a home run and you're not giving up other little things, you're going to be in a lot of games. And in the end, you're probably going to win most of them. And so Janelle Troutman pitched all games for them and just was a workhorse. Again, very successful and something that I think Augie can really build on. They're peaking at the right time now. everybody left the NSIC tournament going, is the team falling or where are they at? But they really showed this weekend that they're still number 9 in the country, and they're going to work their way up those polls. So
they did great, and Janelle Troutman is up for National Player of the Year, if I understand correctly.
Absolutely, and D2 and Sarah Kennedy. So,
and Sarah Kennedy.
So you have two players just from your own team up for National Player of the Year.
Wonderful.
You know, and then just a few other honors that came up this weekend. You know, Janelle and Sarah just were named this just today. Janelle was the Pitcher of the Year for the Central Region, and Sarah Kennedy was Player of the Year. So again, great honors for that school and for those young ladies. And then the All Central Region honors by Daktronics were named, and Caitlin Nickel was the first team, and Carly Pickett was second team.
Oh wow!
So
that's outstanding.
I mean, a team that really thrives on playing together and being a team together. There's a lot of individuals that are really putting on stellar senior careers that will be remembered as a Viking.
Well, that's awesome that they're doing so well, and we get to have some more great softball right here in our own backyard. Is that May 15th and 16th, right?
That is,
okay.
Yep.
Okay.
You know, and that's just what's crazy about softball in South Dakota. You know, you look at our schools that make up the Division II. You've got Northern, you got the University of Sioux Falls, you got Augustana. We head out west, we got Black Hills State. I mean, really good Division II softball programs. But then on the other side of it as well, we've got the University of South Dakota and South Dakota State University, who in the Division I era are really starting to make some moves.
They are.
You know,
both of them made to the tournament, right?
Yeah, both made the Summit League Conference Tournament, which is a huge honor for them. Both put on very good showings. USD came up short. They came in as the number 2 seed.
Yeah.
But again, when you're going up against that North Dakota State University Bison team, it's hard. They've been a perennial powerhouse in that conference and in Division I softball for a while. And Coach Mueller up there does a great job getting his ladies ready to play. And so USD fell short in the championship game, but nothing to really hang their heads on because they really played. They had a great season. The way their season started, they were 0-7, and then made just a switch turnaround.
Yeah.
And Coach Kleiss would tell you that it was young pitching that needed to be developed and some confidence needed to be started. And
they really finished strong on the season. And then in the tournament, they eliminated the SDSU. That was unfortunate.
They did. The Jacks went down, but that would probably be the only time I cheer for the Coyotes is when is on the softball side.
Okay.
Jacks are everything else, but
okay.
Coyotes I'll cheer on for softball. But you know, with NDSU winning, now they head out to Eugene, Oregon, and take on Fresno State. This coming up Thursday, and so they'll take on Fresno State, and then depending on win or lose, number 2 Oregon is the host of that regional site. So they could face Oregon, or they could face the other opponent in that bracket.
Well, you know, it's nice to have another Dakota.
It is.
Another
it
Dakota
is.
going on to further in the national tournament.
Yeah, you know, and just a few honors for like our local schools. Division I, Allie Daly is a USD senior from Sioux Falls here, so she's a 605 kid, but she's a Capital One Academic All District 6 Player of the Year. So she was put on that team based on her academics and her grades. And so, you know, we talk about being an athlete and being a student athlete. She's really living that up for us. Allie Daly also was named to be put on the Summit League tournament team, and then USD had 8 all-conference kids, and SDSU had 2 all-conference kids.
That's great.
So another good showing of our Dakota schools. Really, I mean, like I said, Division II has been huge for us where our schools are, but then having SDSU and USD be a part of that.
That's outstanding. Well, it's good to see the programs growing and the opportunities there for the girls that are practicing all around us to go on to the next level. And speaking of that, why don't you tell people where we're at here?
As far as
where we're sitting at.
we are. Sorry, I was like, what do you mean?
They're probably wondering about these softballs flying around us. Sam.
Yep, we are sitting in the center, actually one of the pitching lanes at the Sioux Falls Diamonds fast pitch softball facility that we call the Core. The Core. So there are 2 Sioux Falls Diamonds teams practicing here right now, and we're right in the middle. So I was trying not to giggle when the cameraman got hit by a ball.
Well, you know, we really wanted to be doing this on the diamond, but it's so cold out there. This is the closest we could come, so we really appreciate you opening the doors. And,
absolutely, anytime.
And I hope your pitchers don't suffer this coming weekend for not having this lane.
Nah, they'll be okay. The minute we leave, they'll be on it.
So again, May 15th through the 16th, here, the Super Regionals.
Yes.
Augie will be playing Central Missouri.
Yep, best of 3 series. So
Best of 3 series.
Friday they'll play 1 game, Saturday they'll play 1 game, and the F game will be in the afternoon if that would happen. So
Yeah, I'm sure we wouldn't mind just being 2 games.
absolutely, winning that first
Like
one on
that.
Friday is key.
Yeah.
They have to win that
Yes.
first one.
Yep. And it'll be nice to see that all going on here. So,
Absolutely.
well, great and then we're got a little bit left of college softball, but then we're done.
We're almost there. Yep, the
Well, we
season
got-
is almost there.
We got plenty of youth to talk about, don't
There's
we?
a
Yes, we
lot
sure
of
do.
youth.
Yep.
You know, one of the things we were talking about earlier when we first got together and we're looking about what all's available for softball, we were talking about the different associations and leagues that are out there. We have the South Dakota Amateur Softball Association,
Correct.
which is sdasa.com, and there's some really good resources there. But then we also have the USSSA,
Correct.
which also has some softball leagues there. And I didn't realize that there were the 2 different organizations. I'm going to talk a little bit more about that, but can
Right.
you explain the difference between them, Sandy?
Basically, the difference between the 2 different organizations is just the acronyms. They both govern their portion of the sports piece of property that they have. So ASA is predominant right now as we speak in the state of South Dakota and has been for many years. The CEFSA League that Travis and I sit on the board for, that is an ASA league and has been ASA since its beginning. There's also the USSSA, like you had mentioned, that is pretty strong in the state of Nebraska. There's a lot of USSSA tournaments. There's not a USSSA league here in Sioux Falls, but it's just another opportunity for our girls in the state to play ball.
And that's really what the 2 leagues are really striving for. I mean, girls just playing ball, and people, it's the politics. It truly is when you look at those 2 divisions, and that's hard. But it's both leagues are truly doing what is best for kids, and the USSSA, besides a few rules, it resembles ASA, and ASA resembles USSSA.
The balls look the same, the bats look the same, the players look the same.
The only thing different is the umpires.
Yeah.
They
The
wear
umpires
different.
wear a different badge.
They wear a different color.
And the stitches on the balls are
Blue instead of red.
For USSSA and they're red for ASA. But yeah,
I didn't catch that.
Yeah.
So now, when a team is registered as a ASA team, can they go to a USSSA tournament?
they can. They just have to register with the USSSA governing body, and it's just an online process. And there's usually a registration fee for USSSA and for ASA to play, but it is very minimal for the opportunities that the girls get to play, in the different tournaments. And there's a good variety of tournaments in Minnesota, South Dakota, Nebraska, actually nationwide for them to play whatever division they want to play in.
Yeah.
And it seems like the girls who are really competitive, for the most part, that want to go on tend to be registered with both. Would that be fair, or am I missing that?
Yeah, you know what? I don't really even know that there's a delineation between better players playing for the different organizations. There's actually a third one that's becoming more prominent, and that's called the PGF, the Premier Girls Fast Pitch Softball Association.
Okay.
And that one is very, very popular, very competitive down in the South. And that's kind of creeping its way up here. So there's quite a few PGF tournaments in Nebraska, and so we're actually participating in some of those just because it's a different look, it's a different feel. But it's open to all levels of competition.
More softball.
More softball, exactly. Yeah.
So let's talk a little bit about some of the ASA softball associations across South Dakota. I pulled this list off their website, and we have Aberdeen, the Parks and Rec, evidently. They are associated with ASA. Aberdeen has a men's slow pitch, and they have a Facebook page.
Okay.
Slow pitch Facebook page for Aberdeen men, and Aberdeen women has a slow pitch Facebook page. Brookings, they're also Park and Rec is there. They have an adult web page for the Brookings adult softball. They have adult slow pitch and adult fast pitch, youth fast pitch, and then they have Facebook pages. So it's really nice for us at Softball 605 when these associations have a Facebook page that we can go and get information from and keep on top of
See what's
them.
going on.
Yeah.
Sure.
Absolutely.
You want to carry on that list a little bit there?
Sure. Huron also has a Park and Rec department, and most of these smaller towns or cities in South Dakota have a Park and Rec department that runs their summer leagues, whether it's softball or slow pitch, fast pitch. Sioux Falls, we're a little bit different here with SEPSA. It is its own organization, is its own entity as a nonprofit, and we utilize city properties, city parks, city diamonds to hold our league games in. But a lot of these smaller towns, their park and rec departments are the league as well.
So there's not a separate park and rec department?
No.
meaningful one.
Yep. They pay somebody to be their park and rec director for their youth sports across the spectrum, and they kind of take care of all the business side of it.
And provide, there's facilities available for you.
Right.
Yep.
So same with Mitchell. Mitchell has fast pitch, they have slow pitch, men's, women's, children's.
Men's fast pitch tournament this weekend in Mitchell.
Oh, sure.
We were hoping to catch some of that on Sunday, but the tornado decided that it helped us decide not to.
Not to go. Yeah, it wasn't
Yeah.
worth the trip.
Yeah.
Yeah. Rapid City is the same way. They're a little larger population. It's a 5-hour drive from Sioux Falls to Rapid City, so a lot of teams choose to, as far as fast pitch, to drive down to Omaha, Lincoln area, because that's only a 2.5, 3-hour drive. So there's not a lot of traveling back and forth from Sioux Falls to Rapid City.
It's too bad.
It is too bad. Yeah, it is too bad.
I bet they're playing a lot of teams from Wyoming, though.
And Colorado, I think.
Yeah.
And I know this weekend, as I mentioned, I got to go to Brandon Valley and visit with some players there. Got to interview some fun young women from Rapid City Heat,
Right.
and then from Rapid City Craze, and got to visit with the coaches, and they were down here for that tournament.
Sure.
But I know that those teams were going to they're going to Colorado, I think they said, for a tournament, or Kansas this coming weekend. So they'll go that direction.
They'll go the other direction as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sturgis and Spearfish, obviously they have the same thing with Park and Rec. I'm not sure if they piggyback on Rapid City or not for their ball. And Watertown, same thing. They have men's, women's league, fast pitch, slow pitch.
And there's teams, I know, programs that aren't on here now. I don't know whether they're not affiliated with ASA or they're something different, because I also visited with Yankton Fury girls that were there. There were some girls there from Dakota Valley.
Sure.
And they were all playing softball, and some of these teams are drawing in players from a few miles away.
Right. Yep.
And they
Absolutely.
travel. So that's kind of the standard, isn't it?
Yeah, and you know, once state tournament rolls around, we're going to see teams from Platte, we're going to see teams from Menno, Tyndall, Bonham. We really start to see the little towns really come out during the state tournament, but they don't have an association. Basically, they have one team, and they usually have a parent that runs the organization and gets the teams lined up, and they have a little league that they all play in, but nothing's public like what you see with the larger cities. The larger cities have more of that organizational structure of this is how they're handling things, but with the small towns, it's
hard to get that opportunity.
It is.
Yeah.
Yep.
So those teams are probably registered with South Dakota ASA to have that insurance and to be able to play in the state tournament, right?
Yep.
Right.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. Well, speaking of tournaments, there are a lot of tournaments.
We do have a lot of tournaments
coming
here
up
in town. Yep.
This is just a list of some of them. I don't know, Sandy, if you want to kind of do a rundown. This one was the one I was at this last weekend.
Yep.
The early bird.
The Brandon Early Bird that happened. Well, it kind of happened this weekend.
Yeah, I was looking forward to be able to give a rundown of the champions, but Championship Sunday was canceled. So,
This is a hard tournament. Some years it's beautiful weather, and other years this early bird gets just pummeled with rain.
And this was one of those years.
Yeah, and Brandon's fields aren't set up to handle a lot of moisture, and so when rain does happen, the Brandon fields take a hit really quick, and so
beautiful complex, though.
Beautiful, yes.
Very nice.
Yeah, it's a great place to play as long as the rain stays away.
Yeah, and it was beautiful on Saturday.
Yeah.
Saturday was fine, so they all got in some good games Saturday, but.
Nothing on Sunday. It was my understanding. I was in Lincoln, but it sounded like they called them pretty early or Sunday morning. So
Well, you got to protect your field.
Absolutely.
That's a big investment. So.
Yeah. And then this weekend coming up is we don't have anything fast pitch this weekend.
This weekend should be just that level B and level C tournament at Dunham. Dale, the men's fast pitch team, hosting that little tournament for their fundraiser.
The fundraiser.
Yep.
Oh, okay. That's this weekend.
That's this weekend.
Okay.
Yep. I think that's because this weekend's the 15th, 16th, correct?
Yep.
Yep.
Okay.
Well, and then this weekend is also the Queen of the Diamonds. We talked about that. We thought maybe that was out in Rapid City.
Possibly. Yep.
It sounds like one because they have the King of the Hills out there. I know.
Okay.
A big, huge tournament.
Yep.
Okay.
So I bet the Queen of the Diamonds is there as well.
Is Rapid City as well. And then the weekend after that, we've got the Vermilion Summer Slam, which is a pretty big draw for teams in this area, some of the smaller towns. That's a pretty big tournament that a lot of the some of the A competitive teams will go, but clearly a lot of the B's and recreation teams will go to that tournament. It's a big one.
Well, that's good to know.
Yeah.
Well, I have to figure out which of these we're going to be able to get to.
And then May 23rd, it looks, we just talked about that. That's Vermilion Summer Slam.
May 30th, Fast Pitch Day at the Diamonds. Next time I'm going to bring my computer so I can just
Google it and see what that is. I'm not even
find
sure
out
what that one is
exactly what
either.
that is. You know, let's just cover the couple ones in June. We've got Brandon has another Fast Pitch tournament in June.
Yes.
Yep, that's the Brandon Invitational.
Okay, that's right, the
Yep,
Invitational.
the Invitational.
Sarah,
And that
tell
one
me about
again,
that.
it'll be very similar to the Vermilion Summer Slam. It'll draw a lot of local teams. And a lot of the B competitive and recreation teams as well. So that's another big tournament, and hopefully the weather is better
Yeah.
for that Brandon weekend than this weekend.
So most of these tournaments, the deadline is probably already passed for people to get registered.
The invite, that one might be already full, the Brandon invite.
It never hurts to ask,
Yep,
though. And you can
yep.
get hold of Sarah about that one, I'm sure.
And a lot of these tournament directors, they will hold a waiting list. So if a team ends up not being able to make it, then that team will back out in essence, and they'll move someone on the waiting list in. They don't want to not be able to fill that. It's hard to get an odd number of teams through pool play and bracket play, so they'll try to fill it.
And I think Sarah did
accommodate.
mention that they had a room for a couple teams in one age division, but I don't remember which age division.
Right.
So if you're interested, the person should just get in touch with them.
Yeah.
Sure. And then we have on June 6th, the Sioux Empire Fast Pitch Softball Association has their memorial tournament, their annual memorial tournament. We've been having that now for how many years, Travis?
Oh, I've been on the board for 5, and we've had it for all 5 of those, and I think it goes back at least another 10 to 15 years that they've hosted this tournament.
Where's
it could
it
be
at?
even longer.
Where do you have it at?
We host it right at Sherman Park.
At Sherman Park?
Yep. So we used to host it at Dunham, and once Sherman Park that weekend opened up, we kind of got on the waiting list of trying to get that rotation, and we got the complex, and so now we kind of hold on to that weekend as much as we can.
Yeah. You know, one thing people need to be aware of at Sherman Park, if you're coming in from out of town, is 12th Street construction.
Yeah.
Oh, goodness, yep.
And it's not that big a deal. It seems kind of frustrating, but you get through pretty fast. But a person does need to plan a little extra time if you head to Sherman Park.
Absolutely.
Yep. And if you can, make your plans so that you come in from the west. No.
Nope.
The north.
North.
Come in from the north, because when you come through town on Kiwanis, it is not as congested as coming in
On 12.
on 12th from the west. So,
And on the weekends when there's things happening there, that traffic can stack up pretty good.
Absolutely.
yeah, sure does.
Yeah.
Look for an alternate route. You can still get there. There's still softball to be had there.
Correct. Yes.
Let's see. So that'll be at Sherman Park, and then June 13th is the 7th annual Brookings Girls Fast Pitch Invitational.
Yeah.
So can you tell me about that tournament?
You know, that's another tournament that's really trying to get its kind of legs off the ground. There are just so many tournaments that teams travel to that's a weekend that a lot of our South Dakota teams will leave the state to try to get games in. So they're trying to get it, you know, they usually get 1 to 2 divisions, but I know they're really working hard to try to get all the divisions covered this year.
And where do they play their softball at in Brookings?
They've got a little complex up there that they play at. So I don't have the name off the top of my head of where they play at.
Get it on the website. You know, we also have youth slow pitch, and it's just now getting started. Fast pitch is a little bit further ahead
Yep.
in the schedule right now, but there are some slow pitch tournaments coming up. There's a 27th annual Sioux Falls Youth Slow Pitch Invitational. Is that right?
Yep.
May 30th through the 31st.
That's just over the weekend.
Yeah, so that's coming up Memorial Weekend as well. And then we have a couple in June. Watertown has one, and then the Pride of the Dakotas is also later in June. We'll get you more up to date on those. We're going to be bringing in some folks from the Slow Pitch Association to give us a little bit of input on how we can share more of that information as well.
Absolutely.
Because it's all softball, and it's slow pitch is the only kind I can really play. But I'm out there looking at that, and I'm seeing those tees that the girls are working with, and I think I can hit a basketball.
You think you could get it?
I may have to get a chiropractor afterwards, but I think I can do it. Let's see. We also have some adult slow pitch going on.
We do.
Let's see. This coming weekend is the 16th annual, 18th annual Borrowed Bucks Spring Classic. So we're going to have to check that one out. That might be interesting. The 23rd is through the 24th is the Rapid City 10 Gamer Men's Open. That might be kind of a fun one too. The 30th we have the 26th annual Summer Swing Men's Slow Pitch Invitational. Also the 30th Memorial Day weekend is a huge weekend for softball, especially slow pitch.
Right.
Spearfish has a men's and women's slow pitch tournament that weekend, and there is also the A-Town Clash at the Creek. And remember, we talked about that, and we're going to try and figure out where that one's at. So those are all Memorial Day weekend. There's some coming up in June. We'll talk about those later on, but I'm going to get more information. Women's, there was, this weekend also will be the annual Borrowed Bucks. That's men's and women's, that softball tournament. And Memorial Day weekend, the Spearfish men's and women's slow pitch, of course. Not A-Town Clash is also men's and women's. Okay. And then we'll be hitting into June, and we'll get those next time. The one thing I was really interested to learn more about was on the schedule. They had the 14 and 16-inch slow pitch tournaments. What is the difference of the 14 and 16-inch slow pitch tournament?
Just the size of the ball.
So, are those adult tournaments?
Those are, yep. So fast pitch we play with a 12-inch ball. Mm-hmm. Our 10U play with an 11-inch ball. Okay. And so these teams are playing with a 14 and 16-inch ball.
So this must be like 6U then.
Yeah, right. These are huge watermelons.
It did say 35 and over.
Yes.
So this is the
it's a safe ball.
The safe ball. Slow ball.
It's got a soft core.
Yes.
It does have a soft core. So when you get hit by it, for those of us
doesn't leave that big of a mark.
It takes a little longer to recover.
Yep.
Well, we got a few of those tournaments coming up in August. That just kind of was fun to find that. We have some co-ed slow pitch tournaments coming up. Memorial Day weekend, there's the 26th annual Summer Swing co-ed slow pitch invitational, and we'll get more information about that for next week. And then there's another one coming up in September. That's so far down the road, we're not even going to talk about it until we get closer. And the adult fast pitch tournaments start in August.
Yeah.
July and August, and state tournaments will start then. So we've got quite a few tournaments that people will be going to, and you were at one this weekend. So tell us a little bit about how that went, Sandy.
Yeah, we went to the tournament in Lincoln. It was called the Mayhem. Mayhem. Yep, for May. I'm not sure exactly. But it was a USSSA tournament. The team that I went down with was the only team from South Dakota, and they played in the 16U bracket, and there were 10 teams, 2 pools of 5.
Wow.
And so it looked like it was maybe a little bit of a smaller tournament than what we would typically expect in Lincoln for some reason, but it was still a fun weekend. The girls from Sioux Falls on Diamonds Extreme played, and they came out seeded number 1 in their pool at the end of Saturday's play. They had won 3 and lost 1. And then Sunday morning came around, and they gave up 2 games, and I think they did it on purpose because 10 minutes later the storms rolled in and we were on the road, so it all worked out great. Yeah, so
get out while the getting's good.
Yep. But it was a lot of fun, and I don't even know if they were able to finish that tournament just due to the weather. But it was good. We got to play 6 games, and it was worth the trip down there.
So anytime you get to watch them play, it's worth the time, right?
It is, absolutely.
So Sandy, how many teams do you have in age divisions with the Sioux Falls Diamonds?
In the Diamonds Club, we have got a total of 14 teams, and the age divisions are 18 all the way down to 10U.
Okay.
Yeah, so I've got 3 10U. 3. So the Explosion team that you interviewed this weekend.
It was fun.
Yep, I saw the interviews. They were hysterical. Yes.
It was a blast.
Yep,
good
girls.
They had as much fun as I did.
It appeared that they did from the film. So, and then I have 12U. I have 4 of those teams, and then the 14Us. I have 4 of those.
Wow.
And then I've got 3 16s and 1 18. I think that's 14.
To have that kind of numbers.
Yeah, you know what, and it grows. It grows every year, and I think the the biggest draw is that, you know, they can come in and use this facility anytime when there's 20 degrees below zero weather or blizzarding. There's a place for the girls to come and play the game that they love. So we feel fortunate to have the facility and to be able to help these girls accomplish whatever their goals are, to be part of that.
And it is a beautiful facility. You've got
you know
kinds
what?
of room here.
Yep, it gives them everything that they need to, if they want to be serious about ball, they have everything they need here.
Or if they just want to get out and do a little hitting.
Yeah, absolutely. Yep.
So tell us a little bit about the Sioux Empire Fast Pitch Association that you've got. How many teams and the age divisions that you have there?
Yeah, so we offer all the way from our 4 or 5-year-olds all the way up to our 18-year-olds. And so we start our kids off with T-ball. They work into coach pitch and then kid pitch by 8 years old. And then our 10 through 18-year-olds, we have basically 3 levels. We have a recreational level, we have a competitive B level, and then we have an open level. And so our recreational level is our teams that really maybe will play 1 to 3 tournaments a year. And they're going to be local, and the kids just want to play just to have fun.
Sure.
Our competitive B teams are more of our teams that are traveling with inside state, so they might go up to Mitchell, they might go out to Rapid. Playing in the state tournament is a big deal to them. Sure. And then we have our open teams, who are more of our really highly competitive teams. They're traveling to the Nebraska, the Minneapolis area, Kansas City. They're playing in the big level, the ring neck, the national qualifiers, because they really, their aspirations are to play at the next level, but also make a national tournament.
Yeah.
And so our open teams are really trying to get to a national tournament, and so they're working on their bids as best they can. And so we offer levels across the board to teams and players. The hardest thing for us from a league standpoint is some of it is getting the word out to parents that registration's open and then registration closes.
Yeah,
You
and
know? Because
that's always been an issue with youth sports, is that people a lot of times don't make up their mind, or they don't know where to get hold of somebody. And when they finally decide that their child wants to play, or their child says they want to play, it's too late. They've missed the deadline, and that's one of the frustrations people have.
Yeah, and the hard thing for us is that we want every kid to play, but when we have over 1,800 kids playing in our program, and we have a late registration come in, that can upset the whole apple cart for teams and how we shuffle kids and where kids play. And so for us, it's more of a we need parents to understand that January to March is critical to make a decision, because by March 15th this year, we were done. Like, we're ready to roll. Teams are playing, teams are practicing. And so trying to get that message out to parents is a key for us. Each year it's a struggle, but we gain every year. We grow as a league every year. And so it's just one of those things that, you know, I'm happy for Softball 605, because hopefully that's our media that can get out to parents and show, hey, it's time to register. Because slow pitch, like you said earlier, is just getting started. So a lot of their stuff is still rolling in. We're done with registration, and we're really looking for the season now.
That's a good point. If someone's interested and they miss the cutoff for fast pitch, they might still be able to get on a slow pitch team.
Absolutely.
Possibly.
Yep.
I'm not
Yep.
sure.
I don't know when their
We'll try and
deadlines
get
are.
that answered too before next week. Well, we've covered a lot today, and we've got, I think that pretty much covers. We do have one more tournament we wanted to talk a little bit about, and that is the USSSA South Dakota State Tournament. That is June 27th through the 28th. That's the 10U through the 18U as well, and it's here in Sioux Falls at Hesley Park.
That's what it has on there. So
there's a lot of parks around here.
There is.
What a blessing.
Yeah, I don't know that I've ever seen softball fast pitch played at Paisley Park, but we'll give it a shot. It's a nice park.
Yeah, it's our baseball park of the city, so it's got the fences, so the pitching mound's removed from the field, so they should be okay.
Swing for the fence, huh?
Absolutely.
Right.
With the ball fly.
All right. Anything else you guys want to add? Just to let you know, on Softball 605, we have a Facebook page. You guys both like the Facebook page, right?
Correct.
We have a Twitter account. It's at softball_605. And we really encourage you to follow us on Twitter and to send us out tweets. You know, if your team played in a tournament and had got some pictures of the team, or you have some score results, tweet those to us, or tweet them out and mention at softball_605, and we'll retweet them and help share your good news with the whole softball community across the state.
That's awesome.
The Twitter account is really a lot of fun, especially on tournament weekends.
Yeah.
Because you can just be looking and seeing how everybody did. And
There's a buzz.
Yeah,
there's a buzz.
It helps get the buzz going.
Yep.
We are also out there doing interviews with players. You may have seen some of them. Had some great interviews with the Sioux Falls Diamonds explosion
Yeah.
at Brandon Valley. Also with some of the Brandon Valley players. As I mentioned, Rapid City Craze, Rapid City Heat, Yankton Fury. I know I'm going to miss someone there. Barney's Thrillers. Got a chance to visit with quite a few of the young women out there, and with umpire-in-chief, UIC, Chester DeYoung, thank you. And quite a few coaches. So what our purpose with the Softball 605 is simply to shine a spotlight on the players and the coaches and the people who love the game. Put a spotlight on the game. We want to validate and endorse people who love the sport for their commitment and dedication to the sport.
Absolutely.
And one of our sponsors, a key sponsor for us, is Home Federal Bank, and Home Federal Bank, their slogan is "It's your time to shine," and it fits right in beautifully with what we do on Softball 605. Because when we come to these players, that's what we're all about. It's their time to shine. We love watching them play, and we want to help everybody else see them play too. So we're really excited about the possibility of live streaming some games here this summer from the tournaments.
That'd be incredible.
And Travis, you had some fun experience with NSIC doing game calling and commentating for game after game after game.
It was a good time. It was a good time.
You did a great job. I don't know how you can talk that long. Sandy and I couldn't talk that long.
No, we could not. Not about softball anyway.
Sandy's going to do color for me next.
Oh boy.
We'll have a lot of fun.
Anyway, we really hope you join us on this journey as we shine the spotlight on softballs across South Dakota through Softball 605. We're thrilled to be here. It's all about you. The information that you feed us, the pictures that you share with us, the help that you provide to us in getting the word out will make it all the better. Right?
Agreed.
Absolutely.
So, signing off for this week, I'm Carol McKee with Softball 605.
I'm Sandy Delker-Holbert.
I'm Travis Lape.
And you are
Softball 605.